Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 4 of our FCHS Fitness Challenge. Today we're going to work a little bit on strength training. We're going to do a full body workout, going to alternate between upper body exercises and lower body exercises, and just get some kind of basic movements in to get started on our strength training. So the only equipment I have today, we're going to start standing, but we will eventually make it to the floor. So I have a mat to lay on later. I have a chair for some balance exercises we'll be doing just for some extra support. And I also have some hand weights, but you really can use any resistance type of objects you might have lying around, or you don't even need them if you don't want them, just if you want a little bit of an extra challenge. We're gonna work in a rep range of about 8 to 12. For those of you who want a little less, we can go for 8. If you want a little more, you can do 12. I'm gonna do 10. I like that sweet spot right in the middle. That's good for most people, but you can always do more or less depending on what you need. I think that's all I have for my little intro here. So I'm gonna stand up here. I'm gonna back up a little bit so you can see me better. Before we really get started, I just wanna warm up a little bit. So we're just gonna march in place like we did in our cardio exercise yesterday, just to warm up some of those muscles before we start to work them. So we are gonna be working our legs in a little bit, but I like this exercise just to kind of get my heart pumping, my breathing a little heavier. It's a little cold here today, like it was yesterday. So our first exercise, we're gonna start with our chest muscles, and we're gonna do push-ups against the wall. So I'm gonna face away from you guys so you can see what it looks like from behind, and because my wall is behind me. So if you have a wall handy, you can use that. If you don't have a wall, a table can work for this, or a counter, something sturdy. Or you can just do push-outs with a weight, just back and forth like this, okay? So I'm gonna get to my wall here, and to set this up, I'm gonna have my palms about shoulder level apart, directly underneath my shoulders against the wall, okay? And then I usually step in close to the wall, and I take one step backwards to kind of set myself up. You should see that my back is really flat. I'm in a nice plank position against the wall. I'm not arched like this or like this. Nice and neutral spine. All right, and then I'm just gonna lower my chest between my hands. I'm gonna push back out using those chest, shoulder, and tricep muscles to do that. So I'm gonna do 10 of these. If you notice this is really challenging, you can take a step forward, and that'll kind of shift your weight to make it a little bit easier. If it's too easy, you can take a step back and distribute your weight a little more sharply. Okay. We're gonna go for 3 more. And our last one. Okay. So those were our wall push-ups. Really good exercise to just kind of throw in throughout the day if you have the chance. Our next exercise, we're gonna do squats. So there's 2 different ways we can do this. If you don't have the best knees, or you know you don't like squats, or you haven't really done them in a while, I suggest using a chair. And you can put your hands against the chair like this just to kind of guide you. And you're just gonna sink back, you're gonna push your hips back and come back up. So when we use the chair, it just helps give us a little extra stability. We can really focus on that form that's sinking back into our hips and take some of that pressure off of our knees. Okay, if you don't need the chair, you can just do your regular squats. We want to try to at least get our thighs parallel to the floor. It's not always easy, not always possible for all of us. I can be one of those people. So you just take your body for what it is today, and we'll work on that range of motion as we go throughout these videos. We're gonna do 1 more here. All right, now we're probably feeling a little warmer. Those leg exercises are good for that. Our next one, I'm gonna grab my weights here. We're gonna do a bent over row. Okay, so there's a few ways to do this one too. The easiest way is we just kind of get back in that squat position. So we're gonna sink those hips back. We're gonna put the weights at our sides, and we're just gonna pull them up, keep those elbows nice and close, squeeze the shoulder blades, and go back down. If this is tough on your back, you can also lean against your chair like we did with the squats and just work with the arms so you don't have to bend all the way over. Okay, 4, do 5, 6, we're on 8, you'll see I'm trying to keep that nice flat back throughout. I'm not going like this or like this. Nice and neutral. One more here. All right, we'll go back into our legs. I'm gonna grab my chair again for this one. But if you have really good balance, you might not need it. So we're gonna do a leg curl with our feet. So we're gonna bring the heel up as high as we can get it. Mine doesn't go super high. Some people can get it all the way up to their hip, but just working that. Right, you should feel a nice work in this hamstring back here, that back of our leg. And if you want to add a balance challenge, you could not touch the chair. That's usually when I fall over. If this feels really easy and you have resistance bands lying around, this is a good exercise to do with resistance bands. We're gonna do one more, and then we're gonna switch the legs. Okay, so we'll balance on that left foot, and we'll kick the right foot up or back, and we'll go for 10 of these. And then we'll get into some shoulders. Ooh. So I have my handy dandy wall right here. Two more. And last one. All right, I'm gonna grab my weights again. And we're gonna do a shoulder press. So we're gonna start with the weights about shoulder level. And we're just gonna raise those weights up overhead and lower them back down. Okay. This can be a tough one. So if your shoulders are really feeling it, it's all good to stop at 8. You're still gonna build up your muscle mass. Okay. Or your muscle strength. We're on 6, 7. There's 8 right here. And we'll go for one more for those of you still with me. All right. We'll put these down. A lot of putting them down and picking them back up, I know. All right, so our next one, we're gonna work on our calves, so the back of this lower leg here. So again, chair might be handy for this. We're gonna come up on our toes. We're gonna slowly drop those heels back down to the floor. So the slower we go, the more we're gonna challenge that balance. Okay. And a lot of times when we go very slow with our strength training, it forces those muscles to work a little bit longer, and it helps support that strengthening process. We don't want to use momentum to move resistance. We want to use our strength. We're going to go for 2 more of these. And we'll come down. I'm going to grab my weights again. We're going to work the front of our arm. So we're going to do a bicep curl. So we're going to flip the weights or the water bottles or our palms, whatever we got, out in front of us. And we're just going to pull those weights up to our shoulder. And we're going to keep the shoulders nice and relaxed through this. So if our resistance gets too heavy, we might find that the shoulders kind of come up like this. We want them down. We want them to stay where the shoulders are supposed to be. And we want to use our arms to lift the weights, okay? We don't want to be putting our back into it like this. We want to get those arms involved. We're going to go for 3 more. And 10. All right. Now we're going to make our way to the floor here. It's time to lay down. It's always my favorite part. Okay, let me move back a little. So our first one, we're going to come down and we're going to lie on our side. Okay. And I'm going to cross this top leg over my bottom leg. I'm going to almost tilt my hip forward a little bit. I don't want it back. I want it either facing my ceiling or a little bit in front. And then I'm just going to lift this lower leg up off the mat. Might not be a huge movement. Okay, we're working this inner thigh, this groin area. Okay, those inside thigh muscles can be kind of challenging to strengthen because we have to get in funny pretzel-like positions like this. But they're very important. They help us balance, keep our hips healthy. We're gonna go for 2 more. You guys can tell I'm not really a fan of this one. Whew, me and my cranky hips. Okay, that was 10. We're gonna switch sides. Gotta do both legs. Sad thing is I did my good leg first, so you guys can all laugh at me when this does not go according to plan. So we're gonna get set up in the same position. I got my shoulder supporting me. I got this top leg in front to kind of keep my balance. And I'm angled away from this way, okay? I want my chest pointing more towards my back wall here. Then I'm gonna lift my foot, ooh, or attempt to lift my foot just a few inches off the mat. Okay. I know for me, I feel it all the way up here down, especially on this leg, because this tends to be my tighter hip. And that's normal. One side might be easier than the other for all of our exercises. I'm gonna do 2 more. And 10. Okay, our next one will go back into our arms. Gonna grab my weights here. This will be the last exercise we do with weights. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my arms right above me. Don't drop them on your face, please. Right above me, I'm gonna bend only at my elbow, and those weights are gonna come down by my ears and back up, okay? These are aptly named skull crushers. Do not crush your skull. So I usually direct people to bring the weights around their head versus to their forehead. That is also a way to do this, okay? This works the back of your arm. Can kind of creep up on you pretty fast. The first couple reps might feel nice, and then all of a sudden you realize how much it hurts. That's okay. We're on 7 here, so take a break if you need it. We're gonna go for 3 more. Last arm exercise, guys. And our last one here. Woo! All right, get my weights out of the way. We're done with those. We're gonna go back to lying on our side. Lots of moving around today. You thought this wasn't gonna be a cardio workout. So I'm back on my hip again, okay? I'm back on my side. And this time, I'm gonna work the outer part of my hip and my outer thigh muscles here. So I'm just gonna raise this leg up until I feel that muscle kick in right here in my glute and lower it back down. So it doesn't have to be a super high kick, just until you feel that muscle activate. If you want a little extra support, you can always kickstand this bottom foot. That can kind of help a little bit. And again, make sure that hip is pointing forward, not back. Especially in this one, it tends to roll back on this one. Really make the effort to keep it put. You want those hips stacked on top of each other. We're gonna go for 2 more. And 10. All right. And we'll come and do the other side here. So get yourself nice and balanced. Stack those hips up, and we'll raise that top one and come back down. And 1 more. Okay. We're gonna come to our back now. And we're gonna start with the legs up like this. Okay, so kind of that tabletop position, reversed. And we're gonna tap the toes down. We're gonna work our core here. Tap the toes and bring them back up using this lower part of our stomach. Okay, if you need a little extra support, you can stick the thumbs underneath your low back. If this is too easy, the further away you tap your toes, the harder it's gonna be, okay? And we're gonna do one more. Okay, we're gonna plant those feet down wherever they fall. And our next one, we're gonna do a glute bridge. So we're gonna work those glute muscles again. We're just gonna bring the hips up and slowly lower them back down. Okay, so this will strengthen a bit of our core, our glutes. It can help us kind of take some pressure off of our low back when we develop those muscles. Okay, so this is a really good one. I might stretch the front of your hips too. We're halfway through. And we're gonna go for two more. Ooh, last one. All right, we got one more core exercise here, and then one more leg exercise, and then we're done. So this one, we're gonna come up, we're gonna bring our shoulders up off the mat. We're gonna engage this upper core here, and we're going to go and touch our ankle, or close to our ankle. And we're gonna go for 10 of those. Okay, so this will work the sides of the core, the upper core. It's a good workout. If it starts to hurt your neck, you can try to neutralize your neck a little bit, or you can just take a break and finish the set at another time. You don't want to put too much pressure there. Okay, we're gonna go for 2, but it'll feel like 4, and down. All right, put our head back on the mat. We're gonna lengthen these legs. And our last one, we're just gonna raise the one foot off the ground and come back down. So that'll work this hip again. It's gonna work our quad muscle. And you might feel a little bit in your core kick in as well. Right. Okay, we got 4 more on this leg. And we're gonna switch and do the other leg. So we'll bring that one up and slowly lower back down. One more. All right, we're all done. Bring those knees in, give yourself a hug. If you want to add a little bit of a rotation here, you can. Massage that low back. Get a nice stretch in that way. Give yourself some credit for that strength training workout. Good job. If it wasn't enough, you can repeat that whole thing. Do it twice. All right, we're gonna stretch those arms overhead, the legs to the back of the mat, full body stretch here. And we'll slowly, when we're ready, come back up so you can roll off on your side. Press into the hand and come up nice and slow. And you are done with that workout. Congratulations, you made it through 4 days. We'll do another one tomorrow. I'm excited. See you then.